Hello and welcome. Today, we have several interesting stories, including one about an entitled father who missed his daughter's cancer-free ceremony to care for his girlfriend. Sit back, relax and enjoy. First story. Am I the idiot for yelling at my girlfriend to stop freaking eating? My M26 sister, F23, runs a bakery business and she's been struggling lately to keep up with orders because she's been short-staffed. She does a lot of orders for wedding cakes that require custard or marmalade fillings, and I offered to help her out by making these fillings at home and bringing them to her so she has less work to do. Unfortunately, the past 4 times I've made these fillings, my girlfriend, F24, has literally dipped her fingers into the filling jars and contaminated them because, in her words, she just wanted to try some. I've tried explaining to her that she can't dip her fingers in and contaminate the entire batch, because then I have to remake it. I said she should use a spoon and take some out if she wants to try so badly, but she just pouts and says that she likes using her fingers because it takes her back to her childhood. Today, I was trying to finish some chocolate custard to send it over to my sister really fast because she was running late on a wedding cake order for an important client. I told my girlfriend beforehand to not eat the custard, and if she really wanted to, so please use a spoon. I get out of the shower, and what do I see? She has her fingers in it again. I totally lost it because this is the 5th time she blatantly disregarded what I said, and I yelled at her and told her to stop freaking eating the food I'm making because it was not for her and she was contaminating it. She started crying and got mad at me for fat shaming her, even though I made no comment on her weight and she has no history of weight issues or eating disorders. I know I was harsh, but she kept pushing my limits. Am I the idiot? The top replies, not the idiot. Calling her out for contaminating food that's intended for commercial sale to other people because she wants to relive her childhood is absolutely appropriate. Hiding behind the fat shaming nonsense seems like a way to try to escape accountability for her total lack of self-control. The second replies, not the idiot. At this point, she is doing it on purpose. In front of you or right when you are ready to catch her. Yeah, she is purposefully ruining things for some reason. Break up with her. This person is sabotaging and wasting your time, but worse, she is sabotaging your sister. The third reply, not the idiot, but holy crap your girlfriend is. She's blatantly sabotaging you, original poster. I'd be kicking her out of my space pronto for this, the disrespect. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, maybe put aside a small bit of each batch for her to plunk her fingers into. The second story. Am I the idiot for screaming at my pregnant fiancé for not helping me find my dog, who had run off? My fiancé, 28 female, is currently 5 months pregnant and has been both fatigued and nauseous lately. I get why she didn't want to help me look for the dog, but I can't get over the lack of empathy and bordering selfish behavior of this either. My dog, 6-year-old Heeler/Corgi mix, runs off at least once a week. Usually, my fiancé will help me find her, but it's not without protest. I honestly didn't even know how she was getting out of our fenced yard, so I installed cameras and found that she was scaling the 8-foot fence. I ended up attaching spinners to the top of the fence thinking that would solve the issue, but it didn't. I brought her out today and was playing with her when my phone rang. I was inside just long enough to grab my phone and my dog had gotten out. I immediately went in search of her, thinking she couldn't have gotten far, but I couldn't find her anywhere, so I went back to the house and asked my fiancé, who was curled up on the sofa, to come help me. She immediately said no. She said she was tired of chasing the dog, that she isn't dealing with it anymore and that I should have been out there watching her. I explained to her that I had been watching her and simply stepped away for 0.2 seconds to grab my phone just inside the sliding door and she had escaped. She again said it wasn't her problem and she's not exhausting herself anymore to search for my dog. I won't even say it was unexpected because, as I said, in the past, she has always had a problem with helping me search, but she's never said no. She just complained about it. At first, I went and searched for myself. After maybe a half hour I came back and asked her again to come help me and she snapped. I said no. I am so tired of chasing that dog around multiple times a week when I'm already exhausted and throwing up constantly. I was panicked and unleashed some yelling, which involved me telling her she was a bitch who lacked empathy and that I was thoroughly disappointed with my decision to be with someone so heartless. It was out of pure fear and panic on my part, and I did apologize later after I found my dog, but she said, "Go F yourself," and won't talk to me. Am I the idiot? Everyone is on my side except my sister, who says I'm a freaking prick, because it's not my pregnant fiance's responsibility to chase around your freaking mutt, and said she would have left immediately if her boyfriend ever said what I did to her. The top replies, I cannot for the life of me understand why after the second time Top's original poster wouldn't just leash the dog when it's outside alone. Yes, even if it's only for a few seconds to go grab his phone from inside. I'm not even pregnant, but I'd have gotten tired of chasing original poster's dog after probably 3 times. The first time I think it was normal to assume it was just a once-off fluke, or that someone left the gate open and did not take any real measures besides checking for holes in the fence and making sure the gate is fully closed when you leave. The second time original poster should have been like, oh wow, this dog is an escape artist, I better put it on a leash if I'm going to leave it outside alone. But after the second time there really is no excuse for it continuing to happen. This is so easily preventable, it's just bonkers to me that he allows it to continue. The second reply, you are the idiot, she is pregnant. As a man, you'll never understand. This is your dog. You got distracted by a phone call. This is how accidents happen. You got distracted. Then when you didn't get help for finding your dog yet again, you unleashed your anger on your pregnant wife. Original poster, you are so in the wrong here. Either train your dog better or give it a better home. What happens when the baby is born and the dog gets out? Are you going to leave your baby alone to chase after your dog? No. You are the idiot here. Rehome the dog and focus on your wife and baby. A whole move. Also, fiance, if you read this, pack a bag and leave this guy. Imagine how he'll be without sleep and a screaming baby. This guy isn't worth your time. The third reply, you are the idiot, you are the one who lacks empathy. She feels sick and you berate her to find a dog that you lost? Then when she doesn't follow your command, you start verbally assaulting her. Check yourself. No one is buying the, I only called her a bitch because I was scared, nonsense either. No, you're just an idiot when you don't get your way. You know, instead of screaming at her, you could have been out looking for your dog. Edit. I agree with other commenters too. You're also an irresponsible dog owner. Do better in that department or else the dog could one day get seriously hurt. If you can't do better, find someone who can and give her up. The third story. Am I the idiot for missing my daughter's cancer-free ceremony to be there for my girlfriend in the hospital? I am 29, male, and have a 7-year-old daughter. My ex and I split up a little while after my daughter was born. I never expected to be a father. I do love my daughter deeply, but to this day I still have problems coming to terms with being a father and envying my life before. I see my daughter mostly just on Christmas and her birthday. I'm not a very involved parent. In my defense, I live an hour and a half away and work 6 days a week. When my daughter was 5, she was diagnosed with cancer. She's been in treatment and doing chemo for the past 2 years. Thursday was her bell ringing ceremony. She was cancer-free and in remission. Well, Tuesday night my girlfriend was in a wreck. She's been in the hospital since. I spent all day with her every day. She has no family, and she was scared. My ex had told me the ceremony was Thursday and I was fully planning on going. I had even bought her a doll as a surprise. I was not expecting my girlfriend to be in a wreck, and I would have had to drive nearly 2 hours to get to my daughter's ceremony. I figured my daughter had my ex's side of the family there and my parents, she wouldn't even notice I wasn't there. I was wrong. 2 hours after the ceremony I get a text from my ex cursing me out, saying my daughter was looking for me, and asking my parents when I'd be there. After she cried, my parents ended up taking them out to celebrate and asked if I could make it. I couldn't make it. They just took my girlfriend back for a small operation on her leg and I needed to be there for her. I tried to explain this to my ex, but she said my daughter needed me too, and this was a very special day for her, and I should be thankful I have my daughter here still. It's days later. My parents are upset with me, and I FaceTimed my daughter and she cried and said she missed me and asked if I could come to see her. I worked this weekend, so I feel like the biggest jerk. But I couldn't just leave my girlfriend here alone. The top replies, "You are the idiot, and a big one at that. I had an absent parent growing up, barely around. Never made time for me. Birthdays, graduation, prom, etc. I always had to give myself a little hug and pep talk to get through it without breaking down into tears. Your daughter had cancer. I couldn't even imagine adding that into the trauma of having a parent that doesn't actually care enough to see you. Let alone for a girlfriend. Your daughter is your blood. If you continue this way, your daughter will stop speaking to you permanently, just as I have with my mother. I'd say either fix yourself and step the F up to raise and be there for the child you made, or do her a favor and completely F off. This is my opinion and a strong one, but it absolutely disgusts me that you don't feel an obligation to the human you brought into this world. Lastly, how your girlfriend is comfortable being with someone who is an absent parent, I have no idea. Red flags everywhere. The second reply, how many days did you camp with your daughters beside while she received cancer treatments? I'm betting 0. Who knows if your girlfriend will still be with you 20 years from now, but I promise your daughter will still remember your choice here. You are the idiot for so many reasons, from your limited presence in her life to your total disregard for your daughter's journey. If your girlfriend can't see that your child should be prioritized for a single day, I guess y'all deserve one another. Also, you choose where you live. Don't use it as an excuse for why you are a messy dad. Take ownership of it. The third reply, you are the idiot because you're an absentee father. Your daughter would probably have been fine not seeing you once due to an emergency if she actually saw you regularly. But you see her like twice per year. You've already shown her how much you don't care even about her life or death. You live 2 hours away, not 10. You can visit more often, but you choose not to. Honestly, your poor daughter would be better off if she never met you and had no memories of you. You see her just often enough that she hurts the most. Fourth story. Am I the idiot for yelling at my wife after I saw her drinking while pregnant? My wife, 32, and I, 33, have been married for 6 years. For the past 2 years, we've been desperately trying to have a baby. After 2 miscarriages, we finally got our positive test 5 months ago. At home, she eats carefully and is very careful with what she does. We are very cautious because of our past losses. The other night my wife went to her friend's bridal shower. I'm in her friend's private story on Snapchat and she was posting videos. Then I came across a video of my wife all giggly and slurring, then another drinking what looked like wine. When my wife got home, I was furious and showed her the videos. She defended it and said you can have a glass of wine while pregnant, but this was obviously more than 1 glass. I asked her how many and she finally admitted she had 1 glass of wine and a small glass of a mixed drink that was mostly juice. She told me she just got carried away, which made me furious, and I started yelling how could she get carried away when it's our child's life on the line, and that if anyone found out CPS could become involved? She started to cry and went to our room. Friday we had an OB appointment thankfully, and thank God everything was normal, and the baby was healthy with a strong heartbeat and seemingly unaffected. My wife is still very upset about this, and spends most of her time after work in the bedroom and away from me. The top replies, everyone sucks here. 1. In your wife's defense, 2 drinks are not going to make a whole lot of difference in a healthy pregnancy, and especially not at the 5-month point. I'm an MD. 2. In your defense, it can't be easy feeling like someone is doing something that might put your baby at risk and feeling like your wife is not being honest with you. You handled it so wrong though. Correct response. Talk about your concerns to your wife and talk to your OB about it. You should not have yelled at her or threatened that CPS would get involved. My best guess would be that either your wife did research and Lashore talked to her OB about having 1 to 2 drinks during pregnancy, or one of the other women there reassured her that it was okay. Either way, yelling at and shaming an otherwise conscientious, careful woman was the wrong way to go about it, my friend. Second reply. Not the idiot. Sure, maybe you could have gone about it calmer, but I understand why you were upset and have any right to be. And I am not a medical professional, but some studies and doctors do say a glass of wine during pregnancy is fine. Always talk to the doctor as well as an OB/GYN. Being drunk during pregnancy is absolutely not okay, and certainly drinking multiple glasses a day during pregnancy is not okay either. Third reply. Not the idiot and all of you claiming a few drinks/1 glass of wine every now and then is fine, or it's worse just to be yelled at once. Y'all are factually incorrect and insane. Original poster was totally justified in his anger. Of course, yelling at your pregnant spouse isn't a good idea, and CPS shouldn't have been threatened. I would definitely be pissed to the point of yelling if I was him. No amount of alcohol is safe during pregnancy. If your wife is drunk enough to be slurring her words, that ain't 1 glass. A party is temporary, and fetal alcohol syndrome is a permanent disability for your child. Your wife maybe needs some therapy or something, if she does not understand how serious this is and is being flippant with the safety of y'all's unborn child.